many times have you done this manual? 3, okay. I was just happy to get through it once. It'll be 8 to 10 minutes, and Leanne, can you stand up and tell us what you're gonna be watching for today?
Gary said I'm not evaluated.
Oh, you're not, it's not a.
Yeah, actually Jill is taking care of that offline.
Oh, okay,
It's also mine.
all right. So get on up, Gary. The unprepared leader, Gary, the unprepared leader.
Exactly. I have a confession to make to you. I am a geek. I've always been a geek, a computer geek in particular, my whole life. And in these 30 plus years of working as a computer geek, I have never known or had any desire to know the first thing about leadership. It was completely foreign to me. In fact, what was it? 2 years ago, I told Leslie, I am not a good leader at all. And she said, no kidding. No, she didn't say that. She didn't say that. Well, a year ago, I did actually I led my wife to let me buy a new car. It was the car that I had wanted ever since I was 17 years old. I don't know if it's fast enough to qualify under Rick's definition or not, but it's a 2-seater roadster, a Miata, and I've always wanted one. Well, how do leadership and my car have anything to do with each other? Well, ever since I got my car, I've been noticing something very, very interesting. Now, I know what you're thinking. The girls are all over you. No, that's not what I discovered. What I discovered is that suddenly everybody around me has a convertible. And they all have the roof down on a nice day like it was today. Now, of course, they've been there all along. People have always had convertibles. I've just never noticed before because I didn't really care about them. Well, it's very similar with leadership. I found that now that I'm actually studying leadership a little bit, I started in Toastmasters 3 years ago. I was immediately put into the position of Vice President of Education. I then became president, and then through district leadership and so forth, I've had to learn a few things about leadership, most recently in my high performance leadership project, which was the Speechcraft class. And I wanted to pass on a few of the things that I had learned from the Speechcraft class. The first thing I learned about leadership is an important aspect of leadership is vision. If you're like me, a geek, you may want to write that down. It's vision. When I was in college, about a few years ago, I made one of the worst decisions of my entire life. I joined a fraternity. Total waste of money, time, psychic energy. Okay? And maybe not for everybody, but it was for me. Well, one year I decided, you know what? I would like to be president of this fraternity. And so I ran for president. And my big brother, a guy named Kenton Melland, had a lot of influence in the fraternity, and he supported me as president. Well, I always remember the night that I had to give my speech. We all had to go up and give a speech about why we wanted to be president and what we would do if we were elected. They called my name. I walked to the front of the room. Everybody was silent, listening intently. I got up to the front, and I said, I would like to be president because it would be really cool. Vote for me. For people my age, they know they get the reference.
Yeah, we got it.
That's not, okay, that's probably not exactly what I said. Honestly, I don't remember what I said, but it was not any better than that. Okay? The first point about leadership is vision. Vision is to be able to look around you and the organization that you're leading and to say, what are the problems here? What are the things that we need to do better? In fact, when I was running for president of that fraternity, I had absolutely no idea about what was going on. There was plenty of problems, I'm sure, but I couldn't see them if they were this close to my face. I didn't have the vision to know what the problems were. Now, if you're wondering, no, I was not elected. Thank goodness, because I would have been a terrible president. But I wasn't elected, because I didn't have the vision. So I'd like you to do something for me for 1 second. Think about some group or organization that you're part of. Either you're a leader in it, or maybe you'd like to be a leader in it. Just think about one organization for a second. Now think, is there something about that organization, maybe that it's not quite going the way that you think it should? Maybe your work, maybe a community organization, maybe a church or synagogue, maybe this club? And is there some way that we can change it to make it better? I encourage you to think about that. So that's the first point, vision. The second point I learned about leadership is support. Now, those of you who know me know that I am a huge baseball fan. I also love cricket, actually. It's a great sport, yes. But I'm a huge baseball fan. And one of the things I learned about baseball that I would never have realized before is that support is so important. Now, you need to have your superstar players. You need to have your Bryce Harper going and hitting the home runs at the plate. You need to have your Max Scherzer striking out 20 guys in a game. But just having superstars is not enough. You also need a supporting cast. And what I'm realizing is it's not only that the supporting cast needs to support the rest of the team, but the leaders need to support the supporting cast. They need to go up there and they need to help them. These guys may not be playing every day. So they may need to fill them in on the pitcher, or they may need to fill them in on details about the ballpark or whatever. For a team to be able to win, the leaders have to support everybody. And that's the same way in being in leadership. Supporting is to come along beside the people who are in your organization and help them. Give them the tools, just like the baseball players do. They give them the tools. They show them the details of the park, or they tell them how the pitcher is pitching that day. So let me ask you, that organization you thought about before, is there somebody in that organization that you can support better? If you're a leader, somebody who may be working for you. Or if you're not a leader, maybe that new guy who just started in the organization last week, maybe he needs a hand up. Maybe you don't know everything, but you know more than he does. So my first point is vision. My second point is support. My third point that I also learned from Toastmasters is values. A leader has to have values. Now, about 2 months ago, I think most of you all know, I was running for division director for Division E in Toastmasters. And I was running against a friend of mine. Some of you may know her. Her name is Ellie Romy Reed. I know Tom knows her, David knows her, and some of you other may know her as well. And we were running against each other. And I'm ashamed to admit that as I was preparing